Dragon Quest Heroes forced me to admit that sometimes I kinda like being a bully. Not all the time, mind you, but there's a certain appeal to starting a fight knowing that no one is gonna take a swing at you.
You asked for it!
And that's largely how Dragon Quest Heroes battles play out. It's usually not challenging, and good fights are few and far between, but when I mow down a sea of passive skeletons, it's hard not to smile at just how powerful I am. This world looks happy-go-lucky, but the story is actually kinda dark when you boil it down. If one day your pets decided to turn against you, it'd be strange to think about punching your dog or strangling your cat, right?
Don't worry, I won't hurt you.
But that's the exact scenario in Dragon Quest Heroes. The people had formed a happy peace with the monsters until one day, pow, bam, they're at each other's throats. Try to forget about how dark the setup is though. It'll make things much more fun. The majority of Dragon Quest Heroes places your 4-character team, which you can switch between at will, in battlefields against hundreds of great-looking Dragon Quest-themed enemies who don't have much interest in fighting you. Oh, you'll occasionally be scratched by a slime or poked by a knight, but most of the grunts are lovers, not fighters, but you kill them anyway. Why? Why not? There's a mindless rhythm to fighting that's almost hypnotic. Hours flew by as I slayed dozens of docile creatures. Pulling off a flashy combo requires nothing more of you than to tap a couple buttons, and the dazzling spectacle of genocide brought with it a staid joy. Dragon Quest Heroes moves look and feel so good that it mattered less that I could be drooling on my controller for all the mental fortitude I needed to exert. Things do ramp up a little as you get deeper into this 30-hour adventure, when you finally encounter bigger creatures who don't like that you've been bullying their buddies. It's against them that you'll actually have to dodge, circle to their backsides, and build up your tension meter.
Here we go!
That tension meter could mean the difference between victory and defeat, and it reveals the purpose of the mindless fodder enemies. Every hit builds up a meter, and once it's full, you're not only invincible, but you're packing a powerful super attack as well. If all 4 of your character's tension meters are full, you can unload a lot of damage on a boss in a hurry. There are also enemy spawning portals that need to be closed, but they're guarded by Maw Keepers. Later battles have you running across the battlefield, fighting giant monsters and closing portals, all while you're carving through pacifist grunts. The combat still never gets that taxing, but it's more fun than the brain-dead escapades that made up the beginning of your journey. Yet there's little outside the combat to give a sense of progression or purpose to battles, or even to keep the pace interesting. The limited weapon upgrade system requires even less thought than the fighting. When you have 3 swords to buy, it's pretty obvious which one is the strongest, right? Upgrading your skill tree might take a little more thought, but not much. Dragon Quest Heroes is a shallow game through and through, like empty calories for a Dragon Quest fan looking for a nutritious meal. It can be fun to smash your way through a horde of enemies, and appreciate the cheery visual design that makes the monsters and characters look striking amid the chaos of the battlefield. But it takes way too long to get to the more interesting fights, and even those lack challenge and depth.